I learned, not too surprisingly, that the former governor of Osun State, Prince Oyelola, had made forays into UNESCO headquarters, Paris, to protest his removal from a position he had created for himself while governor and in perpetuity. Invited to that meeting, once I raised the issue with Bokova, was Hans Dorville, one of Madame Bokova's most senior aides. I asked her how UNESCO proposed to handle what was gearing up to be quite a penkele mess, courtesy of Adelabu, for all parties in this unseemly development. Hans Dorville confirmed that the prince had indeed written protest letters to UNESCO and also shown up a number of times in his own person, sometimes with a delegation. Hans Dorville informed his Director General and I that he had already responded to Oyelola's written appeals and that on each personal visit he repeated exactly what he had written to the prince, namely that CBCIU was set up under the laws of the host country, that is, of Osun State, Nigeria. Thus, UNESCO, he said, could not interfere in a situation that would contradict the provisions of that law. UNESCO's Director General nodded in agreement, saying, I quote, "That is exactly my understanding." Then she, in turn, wanted to know what was the real story behind the development. I warned her that the issue had a very long history, which it has. We were all rather pressed for time, needed to catch flights in different directions. So I proposed that instead of rehashing the tortuous details, I would pose a hypothetical question to her. I then said, let me ask you a simple question. If you decided to leave UNESCO tomorrow, would you use UNESCO funds to set up an entity, any kind of institution, use your position to channel an annual disbursement from UNESCO's coffers, receive and dispense funds, and make yourself, in your personal capacity, head of that organization for life? She recoiled in horror. Incoming governor of Osun State took exactly such a position. He embarked on steps to dissolve the board and constitute a new one. The erstwhile self-appointed life chairman has gone to court to contest that position. My advice to you, therefore, is that you keep UNESCO away from the ensuing splatter while we clean up our own mess internally. We are quite used to it. I invite people to assist us in finding the soul of this nation. So when I read in the paper, tussle for leadership, no. We should write tussle for a nation's soul also, which is why, in fact, I'm able to confront you today publicly, because I've kept a low profile, as you know. We've done in Osun State what we could with what funds we were able to borrow here and there. But I didn't want to engage in this public debate. I didn't want this mess to be made public. I'd left it to the governor to sort out with his fellow governor. If there is any tussle whatever, it's between Governor Aregbesola and ex-governor Oyelola. Wouldn't be my concern. The fight is between the two of them. Me, I am not involved, beyond the fact that I agreed when Aregbesola decided to use my head to crack a rotten coconut. I'm always doing that. It's my weakness. But I've also ensured that there's no misunderstanding about my position. I sent to Aregbesola, when this mess began to fester, I sent him my resignation letter, dated July 14 this year. He has it, and I told him, activate it whenever things get beyond or get messy. Free to activate it. I'm not seeking position. And this board, Aregbesola's board, has not earned one kobo since it was inaugurated. Not in sitting, what's it called, sitting allowance, not in even transport fare. I'm not aware of anyone who's collected petrol money, who's collected ESTA code until very recently, when things, within the last 2 weeks, when things really got messy and some traveling had to be done. To let you know that I'm continuing my function as chairman of CBCIU. I'm protecting the property of Osun State outside this country. We'll come to that second part later, when we'll expose those who are behind this very unseemly and embarrassing situation and what their ultimate target really is. With the position of the governor of Osun State. And this is why. Oyinlola, as you know, belonged to the ruling party, the PDP, which did anything and whatever it wished, inside or outside the law. That's not just a rhetorical statement. I can back it with numerous instances, and I've said it before. And so the impunity with which characterized those who belong to that party, the ruling party, is what has been carried over into this particular situation and the conduct of some individuals within that party. However, Oyinlola jumped ship just before the elections and became a member of the APC, which is now the ruling party. So, Governor Aregbesola's position has become an embarrassing one, because now this former political enemy has become now a juggernaut within the APC. International, it's become an embarrassment. Lies are being told. Former diplomats of this nation are leading impostors by their hand through international institutions and succeeding in deceiving those institutions. It's not possible for me to remain silent anymore. Moreover, monies are being collected outside in the name of CBCIU, with which I am associated in many parts of the world. I must make it quite clear to those people publicly that it is not the CBCIU. It's just reached a point where I will guard my own personal integrity, both internally and externally. So the governor of Osun State is free to continue his softly approach. I must now bring out publicly what is going on, what is being hidden, the rock that is being hidden under the carpet.